And then we come to the next two verses. Daniel 11:42-43. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape, but he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. So the papacy will stretch out his hands to other nations. And we have seen in the last years, and especially through this Pope John Paul II, he traveled around in the world and stretched out his hands to other countries and established diplomatic ties with nearly all countries in the world. And people rejoiced. They loved this man. And now here we have this new Pope, Pope Franz. And when we saw when he was elected, and he came forward there on the balcony in the Vatican, people, they rejoiced and they clapped in the hands, and they shouted to him. But then the reporter, when we listened to this in Norway, the reporter said that this new pope, he was a Jesuit. And then many people, they wondered, what is a Jesuit? And we have revealed these Jesuits in another program that is called something like Pope Franz in the Vatican, a Jesuit. And I will just read a little passage in this oath of the Jesuits. I will do my utmost, we read in this oath. I will do my utmost to extirpate the heretical Protestant or liberal doctrines and to destroy all the pretended powers, legal or otherwise. That is an oath that this new Pope has given when he entered this Jesuits work, the work of the Jesuits. And the Jesuits is the soldiers of the Catholic Church. And they will ruin the Protestantism and the independent countries, as we read in this text here. So he will stretch out this Pope Franz and the other popes that have been before him. They stretch out their hands toward other countries through the New World Order, through the European Union, through the African Union, through the United Nations, through the United States of America, through the international laws, through the media. He is using or working through these institutions in order to establish the New World Order. So he tried to establish a new world order, a new order in the world. And he cannot do this alone. But he used these institutions so they can help him to establish this new world order. And here we have a Tower of Babel. Nimrod tried to gather all the people in this around this centralized system. And you can see the parallel between this and the EU Parliament in Strasbourg. It's nearly as a new Tower of Babel. And it is also interesting to see this Vatican coin. They have 12 stars, just as in the Vatican or the European Union's flag. And in that way you can see that they have the same symbol. And they have this 12 stars from Revelation chapter 12, where it's standing about this. We can read this text here perhaps. Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head garland of 12 stars. So they think that this woman is the Catholic Church, and these 12 stars is a picture of Mary. So then you understand which powers are behind this European Union. And on all these bills, these money bills, they have a picture of a bridge. Because, you know, the Pope has a title Pontifex Maximus. And that means that he is the greatest bridge builder. So in the European Union they try to be bridge builders, to unite the countries under the European Union. They also try to be bridge builders, the Catholic Church, through the ecumenical movement. And here you have a picture of this Pontifex Maximus. They think that this is the Pope, but we know that the greatest bridge builder is not the Pope, but it is Christ. It is only He that can save us. He is the ladder between this earth and the heaven. And we cannot... He is saying himself, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can come to heaven only through me. But the Pope, as on this picture, he thinks that he is the Pontifex Maximus, the leader in the earth, and under the earth and in heaven. The crown here is divided in three. And here is another picture of this Pontifex Maximus, John Paul II. And as I told you, they also try to build bridges through the ecumenical movement in the religious area or ground. And on this picture, in one of the chambers in Brussels, where they sign new EU laws and treaties, you can see a big statue of the Pope that is stretching out his hands and bless the signing they are doing there in Brussels. It's telling very much which powers are behind these institutions. And in article in the new Lisbon Treaty, we have additional paragraph from the tract on the functioning of the European Union, Article 27, and we read in this Article 27, the Constitution and law by the institutions of the Union shall have primacy over the law of the Member States. And a European law shall be binding in its entirety and directly applicable in all Member States. So the law and the Constitution in the European Union shall have primacy over the law of the Member States. That means that these countries, the member countries, they are occupied by this European Union. They have nothing to say, they have to follow their laws, they have to follow their guidelines, and they have to follow this in their own countries. Here is a picture of Adolf Hitler. He was a leader of Germany from 1933 to 1945. And you can see on this symbol he has on his breast there, it's a Catholic symbol because he was a Catholic, and he also tried to ruin Protestantism and the independent countries, just as we read in the Oath of the Jesuits. And you see this symbol here is coming from the Maltese. It's a Maltese cross, and this is a secret organization, a very special organization of the Catholic Church. And on this next picture we can see the same symbols on these leaders of Hitler. They were Catholics, and they were even, some of them were even Jesuits. And we know that they used the power, and if you not follow their guidelines, you have to be killed. So you see, it's the same powers that are coming back again through the European Union. The Catholic Church want to regain the power through their men in the European Union, and it is Catholics that have started this movement, as Konrad Adenauer, Alcide de Gasperi, Jean Monnet, and so on. All these were Catholics. And all the leaders in the European Union have been Catholics. And the first one, Jacques Delors, he was even a Jesuit. And the two latest leaders are Jesuit. Jose Barroso, Jose Manuel Barroso, and this Herman von Rompuy. They are both Jesuits. And we know that this Herman von Rompuy, this new leader, he said, when he talked about who formed the European Union, the laws in the European Union, he said, we are all Jesuits. So the aim when the papacy is stretching out his hands to other countries, that is because he wants to have a grip on them. He wants that they shall follow their laws and their guidelines. They are working for the new world order. And we have this text also from Revelation 17:12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So all these world powers, they will go together under the umbrella of the Catholic Church. And the Bible is saying in verse 14 in chapter 17, they are working against Christ and the people that are standing on Christ's side. So in this short text here, we see the battle and which stand we shall take in this battle. Pope Leo the 13th sent out a new apostolic letter in 1890, and in this apostolic letter we read, all Catholics must make themselves felt as active elements in the daily political life in the countries where they live. All Catholics should exert their power to cause the constitution of the states to be modeled on the true church. And today we see that they change constitutions, so they shall be modeled to the principles of the Catholic Church. We see also this Lisbon Treaty in the European Union. It's a model of the principles of the Catholic Church. And in Auro Manhattan, he wrote a book called The Vatican Billions. And in this, he, among others, he wrote, in Europe, the main goal of the Jesuits is the influencing of the mass media. So they use the mass media to give their information to the people. And now they try to monopolize the newspapers in Europe and the TV stations. So, and it is very interesting, this statement from Pope Paul the Sixth from 1964, where he is saying, it is the church birthright to use and own the press, the cinema, radio and television stations and others of like nature. So the Catholic Church is using the media. She's saying that it is the birthright of the Catholic Church to own and to use all these media stations. And today they have a great influence of the biggest media stations in the world. And through them they can give this propaganda for a new world order. And the people that are speaking against this system, they try to put a bind around their mouth so they not can speak. And the people that are talking about this system, they will have problems in the future. So, but even though we are just not speaking against this, because we think by ourselves this is not good, but the Bible is clearly saying that these world powers will work together with the Vatican in the last part of this world history. Revelation chapters 13 to 18. Read these verses and you will see it for yourself. So the papacy will stretch out his hands, I will repeat this again, upon other countries through the New World Order, through the European Union, through the African Union, through the United Nations, through the United States of America, through the international laws, through the media, and we could continue and continue. They use all these institutions to bring out a global strategy to bind all these all these nations together under their umbrella.